Hi, this is Joe Audette, and today I'd like to show you my Forms and Surveys product, which integrates with cloudscribe but does not require cloudscribe and can be used with any ASP.NET Core web project. This is the cloudscribe GitHub page. You can learn more also on cloudscribe.com, where we have a lot of documentation, but I wanted to show you that I've got a sample repository here, sample forms and surveys, that has a cloudscribe project all wired up with the forms and surveys solution. So you can clone or fork that repo and get it on your machine and open up the solution in Visual Studio, which I've already done here. Now, it's always good to be up to date on the latest cloudscribe NuGet packages. So I'm going to go ahead and update that. This demo can be out there, and package updates come out frequently, and periodically I come in and try to update them, but you should, if you're trying the solution, you can just update them. And it's always good to get all of them, not just some of them, because to have compatibility, you need them all. So now I'm just going to right click the project and say View in Google Chrome. And as I mentioned, this is pre-populated with data so that you can see the same thing I see if you try this solution. So you can log in with admin and the password admin. And now the administration menu appears. And under there, you will see, also notice that because this is a commercial product, every few requests it will show this little pop-up message telling you that it's a trial version. If you purchase a license, you can get rid of that message. But in the administration menu, you'll see the forms and surveys. And from here, you can see that you can create new surveys, new forms. The only real distinction between a form and a survey is that surveys are multiple pages and they can have conditional questions. You can download a previously created form or survey as JSON, and you can import it in another place. You can also import and export individual questions. So if you go through some work setting up questions that have a lot of options, you can save those and reuse them. I've got two samples that I've already populated here. One's a basic contact form, and one's sort of pretending to be a tech conference registration page. And you also will see I've got menu items for those. See, there's the contact form, and there's the conference registration. Now, the way those were created were with cloudscribe Simple Content, and we built a integration with Simple Content in the Forms product as a content template. So when you have this full solution using cloudscribe, if you create a new page, you'll see that we have the form survey with content above and below. And you can create a new page. I'll just call this test, create it from the template. And now you'll see that we can create content just above and below the survey. The survey will get put in the middle, and you get to choose the survey from the ones that you've created in the administrative back end. So to make this just like that other page, I'll just select that one, I'll publish this page, and now it's exactly the same as this one. So we don't really need this page, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is once you've created a survey to put it on a simple content page. So I'm going to delete the test page, and we've got this one to start with, and I'll just show you how it works. Notice that because I'm logged in as Frodo Baggins and it knows who I am, I've pre-populated the first name, last name, and email questions. And that's just based on convention of naming the question. If you name them the way we've named them in the administrative area, which if I recall, it's just, let's take a quick look at what we named those. So we'll edit this form. And if you click the pencil for the question itself, yeah, so it's this convention here. If the name of the question is first name in that format with a lowercase, beginning with lowercase, and the same with last name, and then the same with email, just lowercase. If the user, the cloudscribe user, has populated the first name and last name, then we can pre-populate the form. The email, of course, is required, so we should have that. In my case, I have populated the first name and last name previously, so it's all filled in. So I start the survey, and you can see this is like a multiple checkbox type question here, and I'll pick the ones that I'm interested in. And then down here is a matrix type question. And you can see that with all these options, that's why it's a good thing to be able to import and export questions. It took a little work to set up these options in this matrix. I'll show you how that works soon. But I'll say, hey, I'm kind of a novice at Xamarin, but I'm a ninja at ASP.NET Core. I'm a ninja at vanilla JavaScript. I'm novice at React, Angular, and Vue. And now you'll see here a conditional question. Based on what I choose here will determine the next question. So if I choose ketogenic, now my ketogenic food options appear. So I can pick which one I want. But if I were to choose vegan, different ones appear. If I choose omnivore, sorry, you get whatever we feed you. So I'll just say, yeah, I'm a ketogenic and I want the bacon wrapped shrimp. And I'll click finish. And there, I've registered for the event. Now back in the administration area, you can view the submissions. You can download these. Oops, that's the contact form. You can download the submissions, but you can also just page through them one at a time and see the different responses. Now let's show you how the editing experience works. Again, you can import an entire survey and form as JSON, but you can also export individual questions, and you'll see that's the export button for each question, the delete button, the edit button, and the move drag handle. So you can drag and drop to rearrange your questions. You notice this first question is just an instruction block question, so it's not really a question. Instruction block's just a way to get some instructions on the page in between your questions. And you'll notice that the survey itself, this button sets or allows you to edit all the properties of the main survey itself, and whether you show page titles, page numbers, question numbers, whether to automatically start it or automatically go to the next page, things like that. And then at the next level down, this is the page settings button, and you can set the title or the page description, which may or may not be important. If you're not showing the page titles, they're not important. And then notice that just as we can drag and drop the questions, we can also drag and drop the pages. So if I wanted to move page 2 to the beginning, I just drag it over there. I'll put it back where it belongs, or put page 1 back at the beginning. And so it's really easy to drag and drop and create questions. You add a question to the page by choosing the question type. We've got a lot of different ones to choose from that should meet most of your needs. You can, if you've created one and exported it, you can click this button to import it. You can click this button to add a new page, or this button to delete the current page. There's a thing that's not shown here, and that is comma-separated emails to be notified when this form is submitted. And the reason that's not showing anywhere is because we don't have SM email settings configured. If you come in here and choose either the SMTP, the SendGrid, any one of these, and you configure it, then you can test and make sure it's working. Once these settings are populated, then a new text box will appear in the edit survey form that allows you to say who to notify, a comma-separated list of emails. Whether or not the user can edit the form or resubmit it after they've provided one, whether it's enabled or available in the chooser. The chooser is what we saw in the simple content page template where you could pick the survey to put on a page. And then here you can see available submission handlers. Now I will show you what these are shortly, but it's basically you can implement an interface and inject it, and your handler can be plugged in to react whenever the form is submitted, and the data will get passed to you. In fact, while I'm talking about that, I'll go back into Visual Studio and I'll show you that here we have that fake form handler 1, fake form handler 2, and all these are doing is logging right now, but you could do whatever you want with them. The form response and all the answers gets passed into you in the handle method. So you're just implementing this iHandleForm submission interface, which is a very simple interface with this one method, and you just inject that, and they all have a name, and the name is how you decide which one to pick in the UI. So if I want that one, you select that, and can make that handle the response. So like I said, this one's just logging. It's not really doing anything. You can implement your own that does something more sophisticated. Maybe you want to have dedicated tables where you're going to capture this data, and you want to, this is just in JSON format. Maybe you want to parse that out and pass it into columns in your database for analysis. Any kind of thing you could think of, really. Um, Now to unselect that, you just hold the control button. So if you don't want any handler. But we do have the built-in handler to send notifications. It just doesn't light up on the form until you've got email configured, because then you'd be wondering, why didn't I get my email? And also here in the editor, you can preview your work as you're editing the form. You can load it and test it and go through and see, the different things. So it's very easy to create forms and surveys, and you notice that we had the conditional question on the food, and that was based on this dietary choice preference question. One of these would be shown if you chose ketogenic, then you would see this one. If you chose vegan, you would see this one. Now how that worked, if we look at the properties of this question, you'll see that it has a visibility setting that says if the dietary choice equals vegan, then this is visible. If there is no visibility setting, then it's always visible. So that's why this question shows if you choose vegan, and similarly, this one has a visibility saying if you chose ketogenic, then show this question. So that's how you can do conditional logic and have different questions based on what the user chose for previous questions. You can have organize them in your surveys into as many pages as you want, or you can have everything on one page. It's all however you'd like to do it. But it's a very easy to use solution. It's very easy to create pages that have surveys on them, and it's a nice alternative to paid services like SurveyMonkey or something like that. You can have this hosted in your own website, ideally using cloudscribe core and cloudscribe simple content, because we do have that nice integration with the content templates for simple content. Now, one more thing I'd like to show you. Although I have this sample repository on GitHub that has the solution all created for you, if you're starting a new project with cloudscribe and you have the cloudscribe project template installed, which is available in the Visual Studio Marketplace, I'm just going to choose the Scratch folder, and I'm going to just let it call it Web App 1, and I've chose cloudscribe web application. And then, it went on my other monitor, but it pops up this dialog, and you'll see that our commercial add-on products are also available in the project template. So it's easy for you to create projects with this stuff already set up. You don't have to use that sample repository. You can start a new project. You can pick which cloudscribe features you want, which data storage you want. Just keeping all the defaults here. Note that a couple of these features are grayed out because they're only supported with a database, not with NoDB. So if I choose SQL Server, these light up the newsletter, membership paywall. But this one here is the forms and survey builder in tools, and you can just create a new project with that. And then you'll have pretty much the same thing that was in the sample repository, just not with content already made for you. It's empty new site with a new database, and you create your own content. And it pops up this README file if you're using Visual Studio, and it tells you, hey, be sure and update the cloudscribe NuGet packages. And again, we just go in here and we click Manage NuGet Packages. And we've got 22 updates available. So we're just going to select all those cloudscribe packages and choose Update. And so if you liked the demo and you wanted to set it up, you can just start your own project and Again, it's just like before. The only difference is now there's no prepackaged content. I'm not using NoDB. I'm using SQL Server here or local DB. So it's a brand new site. Still have the same default credentials, admin and admin, which you should change before you deploy. Then we get prompted to create our home page. I'm just going to create that one with the standard content. Publish that page. And again, we've got the forms and surveys menu item down here. And I can pick import, and let's see if I can find one. Not sure what that one is. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, this was something I did for a client. So, you can import and export questions, and now that I've got one, I can create a page. If I go back to here, and I click a new page, and I choose the form and survey, and I could say, test form, and then I can choose the one available form, publish it now, and there it's on the page. So that shows you it's very easy to create your own projects. You don't have to necessarily just use this sample from this repository. You can start a new project, name it what you want, use whatever database you want. So that's it. Hope you like it. Check out the products and support cloudscribe. Thanks for watching.